the cloud. You are now recording. What's up? B minor here.
The X Factor's here.
And we are live on a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday night here in Forest Grove, Oregon. I'm out here, Pacific University, beautiful campus, beautiful night here in Oregon, no humidity, about 75 degrees right now. Got our spirit bench. I'm gonna go sit on our spirit bench, and we're about to get to talk to Mr. Neshard Walker. Let's go. So here we got the spirit bench. So I'm gonna sit right here, and we're gonna get started. So we have with us tonight, my man. I've heard this guy speak numerous times. He's positive. He brings the energy. He's got an incredible story that he's gonna share with us. So, Mr. Walker, how are you doing tonight?
I'm always good. Always good.
Always good. That sounds like a punt answer, right? X Factor.
I was gonna say that's what I like to hear right there, man.
As always.
Whenever anybody asks me how I'm doing, I always say either I'm always good or I'm living the dream. And neither of those answers are a lie. Those are both very true.
Well, we're awesome. We're glad you could join us, man. We appreciate you being here. Always enjoy getting to connect with you. So
always.
Give us a little background and kind of walk us through your journey, man. Tell us a story here.
Man, always good to have story time on game one. You know, man, where to start? Growing up with we want to start with like basketball wise or just the story of
I'd
me
love to
growing out of
hear
disability or what?
The whole journey, man. We'd love to hear that.
Oh man, so I was born with cerebral palsy and Bell's palsy. So on my like in the middle of my brain, so like defects on like my whole body. Growing up, so left side kind of, then majority of my right side. So that kind of like hurt me wanting to play sports growing up. So was born with that. That was supposed to be my little setback. Doctor say this, doctor says that. You know, the universe, the world told me, you know, don't do this. Be disabled and just live like that. But for me, I couldn't do it. Strong-willed, wanted to play sports, and I guess my body told me you might want to play basketball. I started growing fast. I was tallest in my family, young, wearing size 11s when I was like 7. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, like this might be my calling. So started doing physical therapy, try to get it going, but it was tough. You know, it's kind of tough, like when using I wasn't in the walker, I wasn't in the wheelchair, but you could just tell like it was something wrong. But yeah, so other than that, growing through that, middle school, started to become like a late bloomer, but I was always defense. My favorite player was always Dikembe Mutombo. People don't know that. You know, they always think like offensive talents and all this type of stuff. Like, no, you know, that was my favorite player still to this day. And then just the willpower to play sports and just the love of the game. And just like I said, I live by, you know, discipline, understanding, and being patient. So with that, having a disability, it was tough. So middle school was tough. Played middle school ball, really didn't get to play. I played as much. I remember getting my first dunk when I was in like 5th or 6th grade, though. So I remember doing that. And other than that, I really didn't play much, you know, because of the, you know, the form. So it was like kind of like tough, but I just stuck with it. The gym, lifting dumbbells, sit-ups, push-ups, medicine balls, the scratch balls, doing that. And middle school, high school came, went to public school my first year. My first year, I went to Bayside here in Virginia Beach, and things was cool, but I knew for me, I wanted to go to the next level. You really couldn't tell. I was a normal kid by now. I was built into my body. I'm tall, about 6'4", 6'3", so I feel like, yo, I'm ready to play varsity, and the coach won't give me a time of day. You know, I'm still to this day, I just left the gym. So it's like, yo, I love working out. So I felt like I wanted a new challenge. Then I transferred from public school to private school. Went there for 3 years, only played 2 years, scored over 2,000 points, was 13 people off from being McDonald All-American, top 10, 100 ESPN, was getting recruited by the list, you know, so, but it was tough, you know. I wasn't, you know, for me, it was like school was kind of hard, you know. I was being in special ed and all that type of stuff. It was hard, but I never stopped. I never gave up, and I just, you know, just needed the extra oomph. And then from there, went JUCO, went to like 6 different JUCOs from college, high school out of 2007. Then I went to Idaho, North Idaho College. From there, I transferred to, I think, Trinity Valley in Texas. Then from Trinity Valley, I came home to Tidewater Community College. And then from there, I went to North Carolina, school in North Carolina called Bronson Community College. And then from there, I went to Pierce College in LA, out of Woodland Hills. Then transferred to UCLA. Things didn't work out there. Then I transferred to Chabot College, and I think it's like, I forget. Oh, it's in Hayward County. Hayward County is between like San Francisco and Oakland. And then from there, I'm like, man, I can't do this no more, man. I'm ready to go. So then I signed with an agent. So this whole time I'm switching, transferring schools. I'm sending my emails and my plays, my game film to all the agents, all the coaches, universities, whatever. And nobody hit me back, but one agent in Florida, in West Palm Beach. And then I signed with him. But then from there, my first gig was overseas in Singapore, but had workouts with a lot of NBA teams, and things just wasn't, for me, it was a story of my life. Like things, either somebody died or somebody got fired, or things just didn't work out. But I never stopped. I still, to this day, still go hard. And I never took no for an answer. And then from there, man, it's been 6 years in being a pro.
How incredible is that, man? Like going from what you were told and people were literally telling you like, hey, this hooping stuff isn't even it. As a matter of fact, just live, just kind of accept your fate basically is insane to hear. And especially from somebody like you, it seems like you're a very driven person. You never take no for an answer. And what did you do? Exactly that. You didn't take no for an answer. And look at you, man, you're playing ball at a level that people would literally dream about playing, man. And it's just complete hard work. Didn't take the cards that life dealt you. Forget about that, man. I'm going to get out here and I'm going to grind. I love it.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's been a lot of, like, I be trying to talk to players and people, and, like, nothing was handed to me. I had to, like, email, send out. Like, I signed with an agent. I told him, I don't want you to, of course, an agent, he going to make sure I'm good. Flights here, going here. I'm like, man, I want to go half and half. Let's do a half and half. Because if you pay for everything and do everything for me, I'm going to be a real lax. I'm going to be lots of days so I can half-ass it. But no, I want to be a part of this journey too. So majority of my last 3 years, I've been sending out, talking GMs from the NBA teams, overseas coaches, doing it myself. And the same thing with the brands too, with Anthika, who else? From Anthika to Whoop, to Power Balance, to Anta, to Puma, to you name the companies, man. I talked to them myself. So, Beats by Dre too as well. So it's like, man, I don't take no for an answer, and I got a story to tell, and I need people to hear it. And for sure, man, at the same time, I got game too. I can play, So I just want to give a chance. Just give me a chance, and I'm gonna show you what I'm made of for sure. And then I want to keep passing the savings on, because I'm not the only person that journey is not gonna get handed to them. So I want them to know it's gonna be tough, but you got to be tough skinned to be able to take no for an answer.
That's incredible, man. You're an inspiration to me, just hearing your story and what you've overcome. But the fact that you're still doing it and you're putting in the time now is going to pay off later, because not only are you trying to get the contracts hooping, I mean, Anta, you just listed a list of people that you've been supported and sponsored by. So I think that's a testament to you that not only are you hooping, but you're also going out there and marketing yourself. Talk to us a little bit about that, about kind of your personal branding and how you've been able to do that.
Yeah, so I was through that whole journey of growing up being like so-called disabled. That was my story, because I'm the only person that I know that got out of that. So I'm in a group chat called Cerebral Palsy support group, and it's about like 1 million people in it. So every time I work out or something happens, or I do something good, or whatever the case may be, ups and downs, I post it. And it's like a whole bunch of kids, adults, you name it, trying to get like be positive and stay positive, because it's tough being a parent, knowing trying to learn or understand the deficiency is, you know what I mean? But my branding just helped, my story just helped me push it, and how I made it out of that mental block, and to be able to use my whole body like a normal person, and just reaching out to companies and brands and just telling them my story and being genuine, because people reach out to companies and they just want the product. Like, that's cool, and I understand and I get it, but at the same time, they people too. They got feelings, and they just don't want to be used just for the brand or whatever, whoever they work for. So I tell them my story, get to know them, and then we just build a bond. And I still have bonds with all these companies to this day. And I just, appreciate them bringing me on board when I'm not even an NBA player. Like, I'm doing this on my own, like an international FIBA player. I'm an NBA free agent, but I haven't signed with a team. So my story kind of helped me get on Uninterrupted, get to like Inspire TV, Bravo, and all these TV shows and radio stations, and connect with you, Brett, for sure.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. You've spoke at my events and always leave an impact or a lasting impression on all the people you speak to. I know you're mentioned a lot when I talk to kids that have come to Max Hoops events, and they're like, man, Mr. Walker, you know, that they respect you because of what you've been through and what you're going through. You're still, I mean, I know it's still a battle every day, but your positive attitude and what you've gone through definitely shapes you into who you are. And that's why I think we connected so well when we met and you came out and spoke in Vegas, and your perspective and attitude are inspiring, man.
For sure, man. Appreciate it. For sure, man. It's definitely tough because, you know, but for me, and of course, in the beginning of the pandemic, because before the pandemic happened, I was supposed to go to LA and be with the Clippers. You know, I was going to start, you know, coaching the youth and being a part of the player development team with the team or whatever. But at the same time, all this was meant for a reason. You know what I mean? This kind of helped majority of the people that needed this time to reflect on what they need to work on. So for me, it kind of was a blessing in disguise for me to just not take life for granted, not take all these opportunities for granted, and really put your foot on the gas, because jobs and life not promised to nobody. You know what I mean? So you just got to really lock in. Like I said, stay disciplined, stay understanding, and for sure, be patient, because what I asked for and the things I want to accomplish is not going to happen overnight. So it's going to take years, maybe decades, or it might take time, but at least I want to leave something for not just my kids, my family, but for others too.
Patience, man. I think that's huge. Patience is such a big thing for sure. And I think that is, you're right. It's not always our timing. You know, you might think, oh gosh, well, I missed out on this opportunity to work with the Clippers, but it could have been something else, could become an even better, you know?
Right, for sure.
And the perspective you have to keep, and that's the attitude you have to have, is just, you know, keep striving and keep pushing on, for sure, man.
God works in mysterious ways too. That's what I always say.
Right. Give us, like, do you have like a mantra or a favorite quote, or give us something that helped you stay motivated when you felt like giving up?
Oh man, that's tough. That's pretty much the three things I live by staying patient and understanding and being disciplined. Those things right there. And then by examples too, like not even me going through it, but my peers and people around me went through some things, you know what I mean? And I always was observant. Like, I'm a people watcher. I like to watch things. I like to see gestures. I like to see people, how they react. I would like to see people, how they, like, just small things. I just like to observe a lot of things. And for that, I always do that. What I ask for is not going to happen overnight. So I always need to be patient. And then it's hard for people to be patient when you don't understand. So I got to be understanding. And it's hard when you can't be patient and you don't understand, but you got to be disciplined too, because you don't know what's happening. So at the same time, I always wanted to understand that all those things definitely going to help you in the long run, because you don't want to shoot. You want to shoot first and ask questions later. You know, I don't want to just make something happen out of nothing and don't know. I wasn't prepared for it. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure that for those three things right there, I always been mindful for it and just kept striving. And slowly but surely, things started happening for me. And when the time came, I was ready for it because I understood and I was patient. And of course, I stayed disciplined.
Patience and discipline, for sure. I think that if you can bring those things, that's a good start.
For sure.
Let's see. Well, Will just dropped something in the chat there. That, let's see if we can read that. Makes me want to bring out my all and come in with a full package. When I make a mistake, it feels like I choked. What, you want to expand on that, Will?
Yeah, sort of like just like when you know that you should have done more, but because being on the autism spectrum, like myself, like I don't always understand the direction, and I need direction. For example, like in grad school, I've had a professor who basically like didn't give me the sense of direction where I needed to be successful, and it and it felt like I just didn't do something to their expectations because I wasn't provided with where I should be.
Right.
For sure. I think that support is huge too. I mean, I think that is something important and I think that's why I always say, show me your friends, then I'll show you your future, is because surrounding yourself with good people, surrounding yourself with people like the X Factor, like you, Neshard, is what's keeping me going during this pandemic when it's tough times and I'm feeling like giving up, or it's like, man, if this guy's doing all this stuff and he's not quitting, there's no way I'm giving up. With my life, I feel like it can be hard at times, but then I look at what other people are going through and it puts things in perspective for sure.
Yeah, and like what keeps me going is just reading, going on that article, going on offense for Down syndrome, which Debbie Antonelli got put in the Washington Post a couple of years ago, like how she had to push her son who had a disability, and just anybody's going to have obstacles and they have to find their other people to share their story with and where they want to go. And that's why I'm here with all you people.
For sure, man. We definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, that's incredible. And it's always good to have people, you know, in your corner who are positive. Of course, that'll always be us. And we appreciate you always coming on here and shedding your positive light, because you impact us positively as well. And, you know, it's, you know, usually, you know, the reason that we started this podcast was to shed positivity onto others. And that's what you do for us as well. So again, I want to just reiterate, thank you.
For sure. Awesome to have you, Will. And it's awesome, Neshard, for you to motivate the kids in that group and in that chat. People see, and there's people that think, oh, well, I can't do it. Or I can't be a pro athlete. I have this disability, or I have this, I can't go to college. I have ADD, or I have cerebral palsy, or multiple sclerosis, or autism, or Down syndrome. But I think that just being around people and seeing people like you that have done it and have been successful shows people that it can be done. So
for sure.
I think that is inspiring for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. It's easier said than done, because of course you're gonna fail, and nothing wrong with failure. You still got time. The only thing you can get back is time. Other than that, you can get a car back, you can get a house back, you can get whoever in your life you lost, you can get them back. It's just time. And it's good when it's okay to lose time when you was trying. You know what I mean? Because you can always get that back. It's like, okay, I missed out and I did this wrong, but at the same time, I can be ready for tomorrow. So I was watching last night. It's on Netflix. It's called The Coaching Rule or something like that. It just came out this year. They got Doc Rivers. They got the guy that coached, that was the trainer for Serena Williams, and another guy that coached a lot of the top soccer players overseas. But it's like, they just have a different confidence level that I don't think you can teach. It got to be inside you, you know, and it got to be something that, why not you? Like, why not? What's the worst that can happen? Okay, I fail, or you can always get back up. I miss a shot, keep shooting. You know, don't ever feel like you can't do something. Don't ever let nobody tell you can't do something. And that's always something I was like, you know what, I'm gonna show y'all. And just not you guys or y'all, I'm gonna show myself too. Because it's not, you know, at the end of the day, I have to live with that. I had to sleep with that at night. So it's like, it's always gonna be times where you're gonna be down and you're gonna feel like you're out, but you got to keep going. You have to keep going, because once you give up, it's the end. But if you keep trying, you never know. You never know. So why not?
That's a great way to put it. I mean, once you give up, that's literally the end. And that's an excellent way to put it. That's something that's going to stick with me, because as long as you keep persevering, you can get through it. You can keep going, right? But that second that you give up, that's it. You know what I mean? The second you turn the game off, we don't usually talk about video games, but let's do it in a video game sense, right? Let's say a puzzle. Let's say a puzzle. That's what we're going to say. You're putting together all the pieces and it's difficult. You're like, man, if you keep going, hey, you still have everything that you put together and you can build off that. If you give up and scratch the whole thing up, you got to start from scratch. I like that. That's motivational right there.
For sure. That's why I be telling some of the guys that I was just in Pennsylvania and I was at Lincoln University. Shout out to my HBCUs. And it was like, I was telling the guys, like, I remember in college when the coach would push us, I was like, man, you know what? Hey guys, let's huddle real quick. Coach going to push us for only one more hour. Let's fight through this last hour, and then we could talk about we hate him, whatever the case may be. Get it off your chest. But right now, don't let them see us hurt. Don't let them see us weakness. Pick your guys' hands up, put it over your head, put it on your back or your side. Don't put your hands on your knees, because if he see that, he gonna see blood in the water. He gonna make us run again. Come on, he only got 2 more hours to hurt us. Let's get it over with, you know. So once they start buying into that and start seeing the confidence and the leadership and the understanding, like, hey, if we could do this, tomorrow will be easier. We got our wind up. We took it easy last night. We iced up, heat pad. We got our good rest. We took care of the day. and then the next day it get easier. It's always gonna be hard, but it's gonna get a little bit easier each day, each practice.
And I'll tell you what, though, those 2 hours feel like about 50. But if you can get through them, it's
for
smooth
sure,
sailing.
for sure.
Smooth sailing for the rest of the night. Go hang out, get you some homework done, like you said, ice bath, all that good stuff. But
Man,
those 2
some good
hours,
eats,
man,
for sure.
Persevere.
Yeah, brutal,
Just get through
brutal,
it.
for sure, brutal.
But that's what makes you tougher, right? When you feel like quitting, you feel like giving up, you feel like you're down, you feel like you're out, you think back and you're like, man, we pushed through that. Let's get through anything.
Yeah, that's the same thing I be telling a lot of people, man. Like, yeah, it's the same thing like the car. It's like, man, I should have went to the gas station 2 exits ago. But it's like the car's up there, hey, I got a little bit enough to get you to that next exit so we can go ahead and get some gas. It's like, whoa, thank you. And that was off of prayer and like a little bit of speeding, but it's like, yo, like it's the same thing. Don't give up. Don't give up.
If you guys don't know, Jimmy V, his SB speech, don't give up. Don't ever give up. Powerful talk. If you don't know,
For sure.
look up Jimmy V's SB speech, because that's one of the best speeches that I've heard. I mean, he just talks about you got to show up with enthusiasm. You got to laugh, think, cry every day. If you laugh, think, and cry, that's a full day. That's a heck of a day.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
That's a good way to put it. I like that. I never seen that part. I'll be honest with you. And I probably should have seen the whole speech, but I've never seen the whole speech. You know, the famous clip, little snippet of the speech. I've seen that, but I've never seen the whole thing.
It's only like 9 minutes. It's worth YouTubing it or Googling it, because it's powerful. He's like, they're back there saying, I got 30 seconds left to talk. I got tumors all over my body. I'm dying of cancer. And you think I'm going to care what this guy says? Powerful.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. What a fighter. What a fighter. That's one of the, I would say that's one of the strongest fighters that we've ever seen in the sports world and maybe anywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
And what he did, winning that national championship, when I think it was like their last 3 games in the ACC tournament, if they lost, their season was over. And then every game, it was that survive and advance. And there was just the heartbreak or the heart attack kids, because their games were always coming down to the wire. And that NC State team. But then what he did when he found out he had cancer, and him and Coach K, they've raised hundreds of millions of dollars to try to fight cancer. It's incredible. That Jimmy V Foundation is something special. Well, Neshard, people, I appreciate you being here, man. I think this is awesome. Definitely appreciate you taking some time. Coach Mitchell, Rebecca, Will, does anybody have any questions they want to shout out here before?
Yeah, sure.
Go for it.
Big horse cock.
So Neshard, so what makes you, like, through what all you've been through, what makes you still see light in the tunnel for yourself, and the people that you've been through the game of basketball and outside of basketball?
Hold on. Well, you can repeat that one more time.
Sure. Yeah, we had the jokers pop in there. We had to get those guys escorted out. Those trolls were that popular. We got these trolls.
So Neshard, like, with everything that you've been through, like, what makes you see light in the tunnel still for yourself and other people in basketball and outside of basketball that you've been around?
The people that don't get mentioned. The people that feel that they got left out, the people that think that they're not being thought of, the kids that I was in the same position that they were in or in now. So that's pretty much what motivated me. So I always wanted to help and pass the savings on. You know, it's the gift that keep on giving. So I want to definitely pass the savings on, let people know that I had to figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out, kid. I'm a late bloomer and a lot of things, but I had to figure it out. And so for me, it's like, I'd rather somebody teach me how to do it. As a matter of fact, I'd rather get burnt trying to get close to the fire than just jump into the fire, you know? So it's like, I just love just people. I love people.
Thank you.
No worries, man, for sure. Thank you.
That's awesome, man. Well, I think that the people that don't want to see you quit kind of keeps me going. And I don't want to let down those people that have believed in me, that have put me in this position to influence and impact. And I definitely don't want to let them down. So that's kind of what keeps me going at times, is when I see other people still going that are going through hard times, it keeps me going. And that's kind of why we started this, was to keep everybody going during this tough pandemic. And we're 25 episodes in, 25 episodes we've done. So if you don't
25.
subscribe.
For sure,
25, man.
Sure.
And what feels like an eternity, but it's also went by so fast because we have so much fun doing this. I mean, every night that we come on here on Sundays and Wednesdays, it's like a conversation. You know what I mean? Or meeting new people,
for sure.
Networking with different people. I mean, you really can't beat this. And it's all about hoops, positivity, and rock and roll sometimes. And walking on, too.
Walk on, rock on.
For sure.
And hey, you know what I think? I think your best days are still ahead of you. Maybe not in basketball, but maybe.
For sure.
But what the impact you're going to make, that's something that Kobe, his biggest impact was still to come because of what he was doing for the women's game, what he was doing for just the game of basketball as an ambassador. I think your impact and the influence and the impact you're going to leave is still, the potential still hasn't tapped out.
For sure. I appreciate that. For sure, man. For sure. Still got a lot of things I want to accomplish, and a lot of things and people I want to meet and reach and talk to. Like I said, man, I just love people, and it doesn't stop. Cause that's funny. Cause yesterday I was having one of them days. Cause I try to work out at least 6 hours every day. And day before yesterday was one of them days. I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do the extra 3. So it's like, man, I was getting ready to run to a place called Mount Trashmore here. It's probably about like 2 miles away. And I'm talking on the phone to one of my guys, and I was just feeling it. My legs is tight. I'm not feeling like working out. So I'm jogging. And I'm not paying attention to a guy sitting on one of the benches, and I'm just talking to him. I'm pretty sure he probably overheard me. That's why he reached out, spoke to me, and he was just like, "Man, I'm just like, I can't do it." Like I said, and I'm about to run back to the house. And so he was like, "Man, at least you can run." And I'm looking, and I see a wheelchair behind him. He got his legs amputated. And I'm looking like, man, I got to finish it through. You know, so it was just one of them things. It was just something in the sky was like, yo, like, man, you can't give up. You have to keep going. So it's like, there's always somebody that we feel like that's like having a worse situation than us, but their spirits are just so high to the point where it's like, yo, you can't even walk, and you're still good, excited for life. Like, it's people out here that really just, as soon as they lose something, they just kill me, get it over with. It's like, no, it's people out here that has it worse than us that still enjoy life and take nothing for granted.
That's one of those things that just, when you think, like, for example, I think I have, sometimes I get really busy and I'm like, man, I'm busy. And I love being busy. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, man, I'm busy. There's a lot going on. And then you hear stuff like that, and it's like, what the hell am I complaining about? Like, are you serious?
Sure.
I'm complaining because I'm busy and I have a lot of things to do. At least I can do these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people, like you said, the guy can't walk, can't run. And I mean, I'm blessed by God to be able to do these things. So it's just the little things you take for granted every day that really, really add up. And somebody else would love to be in that position.
Man, yeah, for sure. For sure, man. I hear it every day, man. I wish I had your size. I'm looking like, man, you can have it. Like, I mean, it's tough walking around like this every day, but hey, I ain't complaining. I enjoy it, but still, it's like, man, once I get 50 and it start to get too much, you can have it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. There is something to be said about never giving up. I think that's what I'm taking through out of this. Is there's some? I mean, it's hard to beat somebody that never gives up.
Yeah, for sure. That's one thing that I pretty much was told, even as a cub. Like, you didn't ask for something simple. You didn't ask to be an athlete. Of course, you asked to be an athlete, and that's your gift. But your passion is just people. And people never get old. People never get tired. People not. Of course, we was born to die, but at the same time, life goes on. You leave, the day gonna come back tomorrow. You know what I mean? So it's like, why not you? You know what I mean? And like I said before, man, it's like, it's easier said than done, but you can do it. You can do it. Don't ever, like I said, like you just said, don't ever give up. Ever give up. And like I said before, you didn't ask for something simple. If it was that simple, everybody could do it. Anybody can do it, but you asked for something bigger than life. So it's like, man, you got to be patient.
If it was easy to be good, everybody would be good.
Everybody be good. And that's what I tell people too, Brett. I'm like, yo, like, I pass the safer zone because I want you to be great. If everybody was LeBron out here, this world would be elite. You know what I mean? But everybody can't be there. So it's like, I want to pass the same as on so everybody can be great. But the ones that really stick through it and understand and just stay patient, stay disciplined, and go to the gym, keep working out. Hey, I'm not going out with my friends. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to smoke. I'm not doing this. They stay diligent to the work, to the process, and they keep going and they fight. Now and then I respect them and I salute them in the end when they win the championship. They start crying. And it's like, yo, I put all that hard work, the aching body parts, you know, the nights I couldn't sleep, the times where I work out again. Like I really work out 6 hours a day, every day. So it's like, yo, like the days when I feel like I can't be around my daughter or my family, and it's like, yo, like this is tough, but at the same time, it's bigger than me. It's not just about me. You know, it's about the ones that don't get mentioned, the ones that forgotten, the ones that passed away, the ones that couldn't finish the race. You know what I mean? So it's deep, but the race and the marathon continues.
100%, man. That got me fired up. I'm ready to go. I don't work out 6 hours a day. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's do it.
I don't think I'm gonna start.
It's different things though. It's not.
There's different things I'm doing. Yeah. Damn right.
Yeah,
I'm doing a lot,
sure.
but that's awesome.
When people think when I work out 6 hours a day, it's like it's all different. Like I pool workout in the therapy pool. I get shots up. I go lift. I go jog. I ice. You know, I meditate. It's little different things. You know, I try to be on my great value LeBron, but it's like, you know, hey, it's almost up there. You know,
the great value. LeBron,
I love it.
Look, the great value Steve Nash is what the people call me. They call me the knockoff Steve Nash. So I love that. That's awesome.
For sure, man. For sure.
Well, that's good stuff. Well, hey, we really appreciate it, man. Your positivity shines and you are a light and a beacon. And I'm happy to know you. I'm honored that you would come join us on our show. And we definitely appreciate you, man.
It's all love, man, for sure.
I got a question. Sure.
Shoot, Rebecca.
So, Neshard, I already know Brant and Pont pretty good. But hi, okay. Nice to meet you.
Same here.
So once you make it and you're older, and when we all get older, I feel like our mindset tends to change. But the youth of today is not dealing with the same things that the youth of our years were dealing with, and we weren't dealing with the same things that people before us were. So what's your best advice in today's world to have young athletes stay motivated, keep grinding, turn away from the negativity and get their mind right, their bodies right, their spirit right? Because the world's a different place than when we were dealing with it.
Yeah, so where I train at is called the JCC Jewish Community Center, and I trained a kid named Tyler, and he is kind of deformed as me as well, but he's missing like a ligament from his forearm to his hand, so his hand's like where his forearm is, so he just got the bicep part. And for him, it's tough to train him, but at the same time, I'm very observant. Like I said, I love people, and I try to like relate to certain things that the generation that they do, like the Fortnites and the stuff like that. I watch cartoons and stuff like that to try to relate to them, to make it easier for them to adjust and transition so I can relate to them. And that's when they break that barrier down so they can be comfortable to express and talk to me instead of their parents. And sometimes because their parents see them every day, so it's like, I know my kid, but they open up once you start to relate and adjust and talk to them and try to get to know them deeper than what we're trying to do. And then that's when you can reach them. And I don't want to say like puppet them, but at least get them to do where, you know, like they won't like harm themselves to the point where like they're going to listen to get it done. And then when they defer from that and then they get burnt on some things, like, you see, you don't want to say I told you so, but it's like the way I try to explain it to you, that's the way to go, you know? So for me, I really try to help them adjust or try to explain to them as simple as I can, and at the same time try to tell them how they can understand to something they like to do.
Okay. Good advice.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Great. I missed the first part. I'm sure I can watch it back and have a lot more questions answered.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We'll get this up on YouTube and we'll get the world to watch, because I think everybody could use a little bit of this guy's positivity. So we always end it the same way. As a former walk-on, Pont, as a current walk-on, we always go, if you're gonna walk,
walk on.
Walk on. Let's go.
That's
Bada
funny.
bing.
That's how we wrap it up. Now let's see if I can figure out how to end the recording.